what bat should my kid be using? This is not a linear progression. So it is linear in terms of rules, right? Each year that my kid gets chronologically one age older, he needs to move up in bat size. Is just because they got 1 year older, I mean, we know that kids can be 6 to 8 years physically different from a biological standpoint to their actual chronological age. So we're moving up bats at a time when their body's not ready for it. One of the most common questions I get from parents and players is, what bat should my kid be using? I think the first and foremost, this is not a linear progression. So it is linear in terms of rules, right? 13, I got to use drop 8 and below. Some tournaments allow drop 10s. At 14, I have to go to BBCOR, but everybody's always working in a linear progression to the BBCOR bat. Each year that my kid gets chronologically one age older, he needs to move up in bat size. What happens with a lot of them is just because they got 1 year older, I mean, we know that kids can be 6 to 8 years physically different from a biological standpoint to their actual chronological age. So we're moving up bats at a time when their body's not ready for it. I see it, number one thing is that, really at 14 and 13U is that transition to BBCOR or trying to use a drop 5 because, drop 3's next. I need to at least be using a drop 5. I mean, I fight with my son about it every single day. So now you're sacrificing sometimes the kid's swing and his natural swing path to use an implement that's too heavy for him. Sometimes the heavier bat helps. It improves sequencing, it improves bat path. But what I see a lot of the times, and I think why there's so much, information on social media and there's so many hitting gurus, is everyone's trying to fix the down and across path, sword path. And really that really starts when you start grabbing a bat that's too heavy for you, and now you're anchoring the ground with your front leg, which is a good thing. But if the bat's too heavy, you're literally anchoring and pulling, and now we have a down and across path because we're jumping from bat to bat too soon. Back to long-term development, so what? You have to use BBCOR in 6 months. Well, you know what? You probably should be still using a drop 10. I'm not going to sacrifice a kid's bat path and his natural athletic swing when he just physically can't use it. It's like going to the weight room and saying, hey, you know what? The NFL drafts in two years, man. You got to do 225, 14 times or else you're going to be behind. Well, no one would do that in the weight room and push a kid to bench press 225. And we're making a kid who can't, use a drop 5 or a drop 3, use it too soon. So I think, it's important for parents to look at the physicality of their kid, look at the mass and how much they weigh. Something that we did a lot this winter was, we obviously have the technology in here to measure exit velocities. We would ask kids hey, how much do you weigh? How much someone weighs is a major factor in how much their exit velocity off the bat is. If you have a kid at 13 years old, because everybody's seen them, they're 6 foot, they weigh 195 pounds or 180 pounds. If he grabs a drop 5 USSSA bat, he's going to hit the ball 95 miles an hour. If he's in our program at least, or most travel programs, if he's that big, he's gonna get a hit all the time. His ground balls are gonna get through the infield. That ball is gonna come off the bat, 90 to 90, almost 90. Yeah, I've seen a 13-year-old kid hit a ball 98 miles an hour with one of these bats. So there is a safety issue there. So I think you need to kind of look at it from a perspective of maybe the game needs to look a little bit more into this.